Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I am super excited because as you all know, I am going to be talking about and doing looks from the Patrick Ta Major Dimensions 3, the all matte eyeshadow palette. I love shimmers equally, but mattes are just my go-to, especially when it comes to falls and winter. As usual, the timestamps will be down below. Let's get into discussing this palette. Here it is, guys. This is what she looks like. The packaging is standard. Before we had this mirror-like reflective packaging throughout the entire palette, and as you guys can see, the fingerprints get on here very easily and gets dirty, so I kind of like that they went for like a matte-ish look. And also Patrick has kept the same rose gold color. This is what she looks like on the inside. Obviously, I've played around with mine. The shade names are at the back, and in pure Patrick Ta style, you get 10 powder shades and 2 cream eyeshadows. This time they're a brown and a black. I'm glad that he put a standard brown and a black for a base or an eyeliner. So this is what the close-up looks like. And for today's video, I'm going to be sticking to mostly the bottom row because I want to do 3 cool tone looks for you guys. And in a separate video, I will do the top row with the warm tone looks. I wanted to really put these shadows to the test and see how many looks I can truly get out of it and how far I can push this palette to get as many looks as I possibly can for you guys so that you guys can determine whether this is a worth it palette for you to buy or not. Which brings me to the price point. This one I purchased at my local Sephora. Let me check here really quickly. $94.50 Canadian. It's going to be different in US. I'll put the prices here on the screen somewhere for both so you guys can see. So $94.50 for this palette. I believe last year it was somewhere in like the high 70s or the mid 80s. I can't remember. I have to go back and see what I paid for the rose palette. The palette is vegan, gluten-free, and cruelty-free, and it is made in the US. That's all for the intro for now. I'm going to get right into the looks because I know you guys are waiting for that, and I'll see you guys at the very end and give you my final thoughts. I'm starting off with the shade Essential. I'm going to apply this all over my eyelids. This is a smaller shader brush, but it's just going to be a little bit more detailed. I want this look to be soft but smoky at the same time, a little bit more wearable for daytime. I'm going to pick up the same shade on this fluffy brush from BK Beauty. This is the A503, and very gently blend that shade out above the crease into the transition zone. I'm also taking that shade to the bottom lash line and just smoking this out. Next, with the BK Beauty 211, I'm going to go in with this deeper shade over here. I believe this is called Fundamental. And I'm going to place that just on the outer V area here. With the brush placement right here, I'm just going to wiggle this back and forth so it actually fits right into my crease and it's not going to go above my crease. And I'm just going to wiggle it back and forth so it gives a bit of a shadow. This is the Sigma EO6. It is a really tiny angled brush, and I'm going to go in with the shade Irreplaceable. I'm going to pull my eyes just a little bit and start to stamp this liner right next to the lash line or close to the lash line. I love these small detailed brushes because they can get into like the most delicate of spots. And then I'm also going to make a really tiny baby wing following the lash line at the bottom here. If I want to make it sharper and longer, I'm just going to pull it and drag it just like that. And I'm only taking this halfway on the bottom lash line, and I'm stopping right in the middle. On a pencil brush, I'm going to take the shade Fundamental. I'm going to take this to the lower lash line and smoke it out a little bit more. I want to do something to the waterline, but I don't want to do the black shade in here. So I'm going to go in with the Sephora 12-Hour Crayon. This is in the shade Stone. And I'm going to tightline with this. See how that added a little bit of smokiness, but without looking too harsh. I'm picking up the shade Staple. Tapping that off, I'm actually going to apply this to my brow bone, just to clean up this area. And that is this look complete. I really like the soft, smoky subtlety that this look gives. The lashes definitely give it a fluttery look, but you could skip the lashes if you wanted to and just stick with mascara. I'm going to go in with this brown cream shade. This is called Non-Negotiable. Similar to the other look, we're going to go line the bottom, and I'm also going to line the top. Now this is more of a warmer brown base, but we're still going to make it into a cool toned look. I'm kind of going to flick this on the side to give it more of that elongated, lifted look. Okay, I'm going to pick up the shade Fundamental on that same BK Beauty brush. And I'm going to set that liner, or wherever we blended, with this shade. And with that same flicking motion, I'm going to flick upwards to blend this out. Next, with Essential, I'm going to apply that just on top of here, just to diffuse the other shade. And I'm taking this slightly above the crease. Now with a clean brush, I'm just going to blend out the edges to soften everything up. I'm going to pick up a little bit more fundamental. I'm going to layer this on the lash line again just to deepen out the lash line a little bit more. And flick it out again to blend into the other shades. Now with a clean brush like this, I'm just going to soften that line. Just taking a brown liner, I'm going to tight line. And this is the finished look. It's a very daytime appropriate smoky eye. I didn't want to wear any lashes for this look because I wanted to give you guys at least one look with just mascara. This is such a versatile look that it can be worn for pretty much any occasion, even in the office. I'm actually going to start off with this black shade, the black cream shade over here. I'm going to apply this onto the lash line, the bottom lash line. This looks a little bit scary, but don't be alarmed. We're going to fix this, and we don't need to be too precise with the application here. I'm going in with this BK Beauty 209 brush, and I'm going to start to smudge this and make that line slightly smoother. I'm trying to really get this product into the lash line so that there's no sparse areas, and the way I do that is just gently tugging on my eyelids to expose that area and then go in and blend this out. And I like that it has a little bit of playtime, so I'm able to blend out what I need to blend out before it sets. On that same brush, I'm picking up Fundamental. It is a nice cool tone rich brown. And I'm going to layer that just on top of that liner. I'm basically working from the lash line upwards. I'm also concentrating the bulk of that product just out here on the outer area and following the natural curvature of my eyes. I'm also going to smoke out that bottom lash line with the same shade. Next with a smaller brush, this is the BK Beauty 210. I'm going in with the shade here. This is called Essential. And I'm going to start to smudge out this line here. Okay, I kind of switched brushes because I wasn't really liking how that was performing. This is the BK Beauty 203. And I'm going to begin to blend and diffuse this line down here, the darker line with the lighter shadow up here. Sort of using tapping motions and then flicking motions. I'm taking that same shade on that dome brush and I'm smudging out the bottom. Next with my BK Beauty 211 brush, I'm going to go in with the shade right here. This is called Staple. I'm going to apply that just up here just to clean out that blend and get rid of any harsh lines. Whatever I'm doing to the top, I'm doing to the bottom. So this will also help to soften up any harsh lines at the bottom and clean up any of that blending and just make it a little bit more diffused. For a brow bone highlight, I'm going to go in with Mandatory. This shade down here is a little too light for me and my skin tone. I'm also picking up that black cream shade and tight lining with this. I feel like I should have done this step in the beginning, but that's okay. Whew. And this is the finished look. I went ahead, added some lashes. I'll leave all the products down below as usual. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Just really quickly, I wanted to give you guys some final thoughts as I was playing with them. As you guys just saw, the colors blended right into each other. They're very velvety, smooth in texture. The blending is done for you. As long as you have a good brush, I used mostly BK Beauty brushes today. And as long as you guys are using good quality brushes and use a light hand, these shadows are just going to blend itself. There is some kickback on the pan, but that's why they blend into each other so well, because they are velvety, they are softer. And they also feel very soft to the touch as well, which is why I love Patrick Ta's matte formulas. Even with the other two palettes, I have the rose one, and I also have the first one, but I need to find it. But either way, they are exceptionally beautiful, buttery, velvety, silky mattes. And so if you are looking for an all matte palette, this is a great one. I know that Makeup by Mario also does one, but whenever I have swatched that one, I always feel that the pans are a little bit harder, like the shadows itself are a little bit harder. That doesn't mean that they're not going to apply well and perform well, because I've seen so many great reviews, but I also feel that majority of the lighter shades in the Mario palette would not work with my skin tone. But for the Patrick Ta palette, all of these show up on me, but this one right here, the really light one, that is going to look really stark on me. I mean, I might experiment and use it when I do the warm tones video, but I know that this is also very pigmented. I haven't swatched the top row yet, but I swatched them in stores, and that's kind of what sold me. Like, I was on the fence. I really wanted an alt matte palette, but I was like, do I really need one, or can I actually go back to my collection and see which other palettes I have mattes in? But no, really, when I swatched this in store, I was like, yes, I need to get it immediately. Now, the cream eyeshadow formula is the same as his previous creams. They are highly pigmented and buttery and silky, and like they glide on really, really well. The only thing is the staying power. It's not as permanent as, let's say, an eyeshadow primer base, which is colorful, or even the MAC Paint Pots. Those do not budge. Also, my Smashbox Always On, great eyeshadow base. These ones will smudge a tad bit, but it has a little bit more playtime. Also, as much as I try to push these eyeshadows and use as many variations as I possibly can to create like 3 different looks, I feel that maybe majority of the looks might look the same or similar if you stick to the same color story, as in just cool tones or just warm tones. But I tried to give you guys at least 3 different variations of the same color story, so you guys can judge for yourself whether you guys want to pick this palette up or not. I still have to play with the warm tones and give you 3 different looks for that one, so stay tuned for that. Before you go ahead and spend your hard-earned money on this, $94 is a lot of money. And that's pretty much it. Give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already. At least 90% of you watch my videos, but y'all don't subscribe. I don't know what's up with that, but please subscribe and support my channel if you like these type of videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.